All right. Well, that was a little video of our trip. We were able to go down there and encourage the church there and participate and lead their first VBS that they've ever had as a church, and go down and learn from their pastor, who's a missionary down there. And it's pretty awesome that we can go on missions trips in the United States, don't need a passport, don't have to miss a flight. He does down there in Laredo, Texas, for that church. And he's from Illinois, and his church sent him and supports him and his family down there. And so, missions exist where worship doesn't, and that's why he's there. And so I'm just thankful for this group that we got to go down there and serve that church. So I'm just going to have everyone share a little bit about what the Lord did in their lives during this trip, and that'll be it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Bushy. It was honestly really amazing that I was able to go on this trip. For the first time, Goldfield had mentioned about possibly going on Laredo. I was like, I'm in. We're going. And sure enough, a couple months later, Goldfield's like, all right, we're getting serious about it. And well, the Lord was kind, and we were able to go for a week. But to share a little bit about what happened. So the first night we got there, we're all checking out our rooms and whatnot. The doorknobs, the inside is unlocked, but the outside locks if it's pushed in. And they didn't realize that, so the door closed, and was it the girls' room? The girls' room got locked out. So we had to wait for a nice old lady named Mimi to come unlock the door for us so they can get their room. And it was probably about an hour wait. And so that first night was pretty long. But I just also wanted to share, the Lord really, really worked in my heart with kids. Before this trip, I really didn't associate with the kids at all, just because the Lord really was kind and softened my heart towards kids. And just seeing the joy in their faces and to see them laugh and the happiness that we were able to bring that church into those kids around the community, it was really awesome. And fortunately, actually, Pastor Jonathan Tucker reached out to us and invited me back to go out to Laredo this winter to do some work on the church. So if you guys could be praying for that, that'd be really awesome. So yeah.
There we go. Okay. My name is Kaylee Kaufman, and one thing that I learned about the people, the church, and the Christian community in Laredo was just how joyful they were. We got the privilege to serve at a VBS for their Grace Community Church, and it was just so awesome to see all the kids and families that showed up. They were truly so thankful, and the joy on their faces brought me true joy. I got to meet some younger girls that really made a big impact on my life. It was such a joy to make such sweet relationships with the girls, and their joy and happiness was a great testimony to me, and it was so hard to leave all of them. Some of us also on the team got to serve their church by playing on their worship team that Sunday. Although it wasn't planned, it was so cool to see how the Lord used just a few of us to serve in that way. The Lord has taught me so many things from this trip. The biggest thing that I've come away with was that true joy comes from the Lord. This church did not have as much as we are privileged to have, but seeing their love for the Lord brought me true joy. I'm so thankful that the Lord gave me this opportunity to go to Laredo, and I can't wait to see how the Lord works continually in my heart and in the hearts of the Laredo church.
Hello. Okay. Hi, my name's Tommy. Obviously, I went on this trip. It was a great trip. We have a great team and just great team chemistry throughout the whole thing. Like David, he was talking about, he's not very fond of kids, and I wasn't really either, and I think the Lord did work in my heart as well. Just working with all these kids there, sharing the gospel with them, and so, yeah. One of my main roles there was playing Christian in our Pilgrim's Progress skit. That was that was really fun. A lot of fun to rehearse with everyone in it, and the kids really loved it. Those of you who know me, I'm not really the very energetic type, but it worked out. A lot of prayer went into that, and I think we did a good job. Shout out to Giant Despair, David. Kids loved it. So as far as how I think we honored Christ, one of the main ways is just our willingness to serve. We just constantly had people jumping in to help, and for everyone who donated money to the trip, that was a huge blessing. We didn't have to worry about money at all throughout the whole thing. So supplies for the VBS and all this, and food, we were pretty much free. So as far as one thing I learned, Goldfield was a great example for this, just sharing the gospel with strangers and the kids. He was just a great example to us guys, just that it doesn't need to be perfect all the time. You don't need to, run a script in your head. You just kind of got to jump in and trust that the Lord will grow the seed that you've planted in them. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Kaufman, and I had the privilege of going on this trip. First off, like Tommy said, I just want to thank everyone who sent us financially on this trip. We couldn't have done it without you, and also everyone who just prayed for us. That meant a lot to us. I just wanted to share a few highlights of just what we did on the trip. So a big highlight was our team members. I really believe that Christ was honored in the way that we grew together closer as a team. Many of us had not spoken with each other, or our paths really hadn't crossed before this trip. And by the end of the trip, we were all so sad to leave, just leave the kids and then leave each other, because we just spent so much good time together and had a lot of meaningful conversations. Another highlight was the VBS, as some of the others have talked about. So we hosted the VBS at Grace Community Church of Laredo 4 nights of the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here, so we started with dancing and music, and then we did a skit also. It was a Pilgrim's Progress theme, so we were able to share the gospel just really through our skit right off the bat, and then through the lesson later. We also did games and crafts every day, and the kids really loved it. Our first night we had about 15-ish kids, and that was mainly just the kids from the church. And then by the end of the week, we had about 25 kids that showed up, and they were kids from the community. Some just spoke Spanish. They didn't know English at all, so that was really cool to be able to reach out to the community in that way. A lot of our team members really stepped up and served in different roles, and it was really cool to just see each team member shine in a different aspect of the VBS and see all of our gifts, and everyone just work together to make the whole thing run smoothly. And if you know anything about our VBS that we do here at Grace, it's a big, extravagant thing, and it's really awesome that we're able to do it like that here. But it was not like that way in Laredo. It was simple, but I really just think the simplicity of it really made the gospel sweeter. And the kids were so happy. They had never had a VBS before. So they were just so happy with just what we were able to offer them, and just the joy of the Lord was very evident on their faces. Another highlight of the trip was getting to know the church members of the Church of Laredo there. We were able to attend their church service and just be part of the worship team. And then they hosted a potluck meal for us after the church. So that was really sweet to be able to talk to just the members of the church, get to know them, get from their wisdom, and got to know and form relationships with them. Another highlight was spending time with the Tucker family. So the Tuckers are the family that pastors that church down there, and we got to spend a lot of time at their house. They opened their home to us, let us use their pool, and they were so hospitable towards us, and that was really sweet to get to know Jonathan and his wife Maria, and then their 3 kids. We just got to spend time with them, and that was really sweet. A few things that I think we all learned on the trip. First was flexibility. We didn't really have each day planned out. We kind of just had to go with the flow, and I think that was good for all of us to be able to just trust Gofield and Ashley that they would get us where we needed to be, and then just show up and serve the Lord and do whatever was asked of us. And I think each team member really stepped up in that way. Another thing that stuck out to me just was the contentment that the kids of the Church of Laredo had, especially the kids in the Tucker family. They aren't surrounded by a whole bunch of kids their age in their church, but they still were content in where God had called their dad to lead, and that was really cool, and I learned a lot from them. And ultimately, we just learned about how thankful we are for our church here and how a good, healthy church is supposed to function. And we were just so happy to be able to be part of another church down in Texas. So, yep, that's pretty much all. Thank you for praying for us and supporting us as well.
Hi, GPC. Ms. Amy, being a part of the core team that went to Laredo back in May. There were so many things that I could probably say about the trip, but we would probably be here all night. This was my first mission trip being so close to the border of Mexico that I was so excited that I shared with my family, and my parents' response was, "Don't go wandering off into Mexico." 2 ways I saw Christ glorified on this trip was the unity within the group and the joy that each of the team members had each day. One of the takeaways from the trip was how comfortable life here is and the limited resources we have here at GPC. I often take for granted. In closing, I would like to thank each of you who supported me and my teammates, whether through prayer and financial. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bethany Peters. Some of you might not know me. I'm only here during the school year. I go to school at Heston College, and I'm a part of CORE during that time. But right now I'm at Flint Hills Bible Church during the summer. But I was able to go on this missions trip, and I was really excited because it was my first missions trip. And I realized going into it, I had a lot of unrealistic expectations. I figured that we would be working all the time, like just the hoorah, all in for a week. But I realized that that's not really the way it goes. We had to learn to be flexible, like they said, but also some of the best times were spent just talking to the members of the church. It wasn't necessarily when we were working or something, but just those conversations, hearing their testimonies and sharing our own and getting to relate and wondering at how God is so good to both of us and how faithful he is. And so these relationships and the fellowship taught me so much that I need to be doing those relationships in everyday life. It's not just in the 1-week missions trip, but these are things that we can be doing every day. So not just 1 week, but every day of our lives, even in my work and at school, making those conversations and taking time to get to know people. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Becca, and I wanted to start by just thanking each and every one of you who either gave to someone on our team financially, or even just those who prayed during our trip and just as we prepared for our trip. Going into this mission trip, I didn't really know what to expect since it was my first. However, based off of a lot of other mission trips that I heard of, it was just you go and you can work, and I didn't expect to get the privilege to go to Pastor Jonathan's house and swim, or get an afternoon to rest, or just taking time to kind of just fellowship with them to the point where the mission trip kind of felt a little bit like a vacation. But thankfully, through talking with Ashley and even Pastor Jonathan, as he shared, we really could deal with kind of being content amidst the circumstances that we were given. Pastor Jonathan kind of shared with our group how he and his family, when they came to Laredo, were extremely blessed to have a house that has a pool and having several things that they may not expect as a missionary family to be blessed with. But they just shared how that had given them opportunities for fellowship with fellow community members and people in their church. And so that really kind of opened my eyes to a new perspective that was centered not on what we have or haven't done, but more so who we got the privilege to affect and who got to affect us. Looking back on the whole trip, just seeing the generosity from those in the church, we had several family members who wanted to host us for a meal or who wanted to take us out to eat somewhere. And so just getting to see those sweet times where we got to fellowship with them and just their generosity and seeing us as a blessing just as much as we felt like we were a blessing to them. And then also just getting to see the joy on all of their faces as they got to not only see their kids, but just seeing their faces as they got to see their kids and both just being super joyful for the VBS. So once again, I just want to thank you guys so much for being able to send us and just all of your support. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Jones. Christ. Christ was honored through fellowship and loving one another. I tried to honor him by obeying and introducing myself to people that I did not know. They were different. I learned that God will give me courage in front of strangers, whether that be in singing or making new friends.
Hello, my name is Christopher Jones, and I would like to share a little bit of what we did what happened in the missions trip. They were all very happy and very joyful. One of the boys in the video had no idea what was going on, but he had the greatest smile, and he just had a lot of fun. They had the best character, and they also loved God. Their church was very small. When we were there, it seemed like only our team was there. There was probably about 5 residents. It seemed, though it was over 100 degrees, the helpers and the kids had a lot of fun. Though it was challenging evangelizing and inviting people to our VBS, it taught me to be courageous for Christ and to tell kids and also the adults about the gospel and the way to eternal life. It would help me to also stand up for the truth and to glorify God.
Hi, my name's Ashley Jones. This missions trip was really interesting. We went to Laredo, and I don't think any of us realized that Pastor Tucker's family is a missionary family that's supported by their home church in Illinois. So therefore, their children are missionary kids. And let me stay on my notes. When we went to Laredo, our expectation was to come alongside their family and their church. The Lord quickly made it clear that our team was going to be used to encourage, energize, and enjoy in fellowship with the Tucker family. It was interesting to see how going to their house and swimming in their pool and the guys spending hours with their son and Christopher, letting them jump on them and they would ask for 10-minute breaks, and then they would go back and spend an hour playing with these little boys. And then their girls were just loved on by all of these young ladies, and they were intentional to have conversations with their teenager. And I got to talk to their mom, Pastor Tucker's wife, Maria, and what seemed like just swimming was actually so fruitful for them and for us, I think, as well. I was able to see Christ honored through the active and intentional selflessness and sacrifice of our team. They were in a new place with new people, new language, new foods, and over 100 degrees. I got to see the hearts of this team die to themselves daily and strive for Christ. The desire of the team that you all sent was to step out of their comfort zones, preach the gospel, and love the local church down there. And I was also really blessed to get to see them love each other. It's really hard to kind of give a whole picture of the week, but I think each one of them, I could give a story of just how they stepped out of their comfort zone. I think there was a time where the guys were evangelizing in a park with some pretty late at night with some pretty interesting people, and interesting people warned the guys, don't go to that person because he'll bite you or something, attack you. And Tommy's like, he needs the gospel, and he takes off walking over to him, and I think the guy growled at him, and he left him dinner, and he quickly told him. And that was the heart of this group, was that they wanted to give 100%, and just seeing that the Lord taught them contentment in what they weren't seeing, what the beauty of what they weren't seeing was really neat for me. And just getting to know each one of the people on this team individually and as a small group of the body was the biggest kindness of the Lord, I think, for me and my family. Thank you. Oh, and Christopher has something to say.
They had the best Mexican food I've ever had.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.